Hello everyone, welcome to Honara's Arts. Today's video is also going to be a continuation of the series of videos that I am doing for Murugan and Adi Parashakti, and today's video is going to be the last video in this series, and this is where I will be revealing on the story of the series of videos that I am doing, which is something very different and you wouldn't have expected. In this video, I will be telling you the power of his veil, that is Murugan's divine weapon, and what is the implication of it, and who gave it to him, and why was it given. So this is going to be a very interesting story and a very beautiful video. There is nothing much to show in terms of Alankaram because I have already made several videos for this Alankaram, so please go back and watch all of those videos. Okay, so I have made one video wherein I have shown on how the Murugan idol is and it is up for sale. The second video is about Alankaram for Murugan, wherein I have shown on how to tie a pagadi for a South Indian idol which has got a big long conical crown. And the next video is where I have shown Navaratri style of sari draping for Adi Parashakti. And in the next video, I have shown on how to do this beautiful Alankaram and which kind of jewelry to use to make this kind of an Alankaram for Adi Parashakti. So once you watch all those videos, this is going to be a continuation in this series where I'll be showing you on the entire setup and the whole of Murugan and Adi Parashakti Alankaram and what all I have done, how beautiful the cinematic shots have been and so on. So if you also want to learn on how to do this beautiful Alankaram and if you also want to listen to this beautiful story, then don't miss to watch this video till the end. Now come on, let's have a look at this beautiful setup and how pretty the cinematic shots have come out this time.
Jagadishwara Devi Bhuvaneshwari Sadurvedi Paripurana Kalaivani Karunagari Agilanda Rubi Dhimtana Dhimtana Nirandari Nanilam Kapunyangal Turandari Adini Andam Illa Kadambari Varayo Varayo Tayeni Sharanagadi Arulum Nada Vinodini Sagala Saundarini Savangal Sulude Kaatidu Kai Kodu Unayandri Verillaye வழிகாட்டவா தீயோடு வேகின்ற வேருக்கு நீராகவா நீயே கரை சேர்க்கவா ஆறாத காயங்கள் சாய்கின்ற தோளாகவா யார் பிழையோ யார் சதியோ யார் இங்கு கூற யாருமென ஆனவளே வா துயர் தீர பாதையெல்லாம் பேரொளியாய் உன் துணை கூட தீர்ந்திடும் காரிருளே தீர்த்தான அருளும் நாத வினோதினி சகல சௌந்தரி சாபங்கள் சூழுதே காத்திடு கை கொடு உனையன்றி வேறில்லையே जगदीश्वर देवी भुवनेश्वरी सदुर्वेदी परिपूर्ण कलैवाणी करुणाहरि अखिलाण्डरूपी धीं ताना धीं धीं ताना निरन्तरी नानीलं कापुण्यங்கள் துரந்தரி ஆதினி அந்தம் இல்லா காதம்பரி வாராயோ வாராயோ தாயே நீ शरणागति अरुளும் नाद विनोदिनी सगल सौन्दरिणी சாபங்கள் சூழுதே காத்திடு கை கொடு உனையன்றி வேறில்லையே
Now that you all have seen on the final outcome of this particular series and how pretty it all looks, now let me narrate the story. There is nothing much for me to show in this video in terms of Alankaram, but I will be narrating a very nice story over here. So hold tight and enjoy the story and the video. As everyone knows, Lord Murugan is the son of Lord Shiva and Goddess Parvathi. He is also the brother of the elephant god Ganesha. However, some of us may not be familiar with the origin and individual implications of the divine lance or veil that Murugan wields. Legend states that when Lord Shiva was separated from his consort, Goddess Uma, he retreated to a life of tapas and meditation. Before doing so, he granted certain boons to asuras, that is demons, Surapadma, Sganmugam, and Tarakasuran. The demon Surapadman was blessed with eternal life, and he would get to be the overlord of most of the worlds in the universe. These asuras were born as a result of the union of great sage Kashyapar and Mayai, the daughter of Asura king Akirisha. Though the sage brought them up to be righteous and virtuous, his wife taught otherwise and indoctrinated them with the idea that the material world was all important and power and wealth was all that mattered. The disillusionized sage resigned himself to this fact and retreated to the forest to resume his penance. Mayai instructed her children to perform tapas to Lord Shiva and secure his blessings to acquire the power which would allow them to conquer and rule the world and the heavens. The brothers were successful and returned to their mother, where they were put under the guidance of Shukracharya, the preceptor of the Asuras. As these austerities emboldened the brothers, and they set out to achieve their objective of conquering the world, which they easily accomplished due to their immense powers and the boon of Lord Shiva. This upset the cosmic order, and the subjugated Devas turned to Lord Brahma and Lord Vishnu for guidance, who advised them to approach Lord Shiva. The helpless Devas appealed to Lord Shiva to marry Parvati and beget a child who would relieve them of their misery. The ever merciful Shiva was moved by their plight and immediately assumed 5 additional heads, each of which emitted a divine spark. Immediately, Agni, the god of fire, carried the sparks and deposited them on the waters of river Ganga. The heat from the sparks was so intense that Ganga in turn transported the fiery sparks to Lake Saravana. Each divine spark developed into a baby boy and was individually guarded by the 6 maidens called Karthikas. As province would have it, it was at this point that Parvati's anklet broke, and each of the 9 jewels in her anklet reflected her image in the water of the lake. When Shiva's glance fell upon these Shaktis, each of these assumed an individual form and were impregnated with his divine powers. Each Shakti then went on to produce a son, all 9 of which were to become the generals of Lord Murugan's celestial army. Meanwhile, the 6 sparks who transformed into 6 babies rushed to Parvati, who embraced them lovingly. Immediately, the 6 were fused into one single being with 6 heads and 12 arms, the form of Murugan, which is worshipped even today as Sganmugam or Arumugam, that is 6-headed one. The heavens erupted with joy, and Devas rejoiced as they knew their deliverance was at hand. The divine child was endowed with extraordinary powers and was soon to become the bane of Asuras. They approached Shiva and Parvati and requested them to send their son to overthrow the demon brothers. It was at this moment that goddess Parvati presented the divine lance known as the veil to Murugan. This mighty lance was invested with the powers of all the gods, and no force in the universe could withstand its onslaught. As Murugan and his army set out to overthrow the demons, they encountered a powerful asura called Kraunchan, who assumed the form of a huge mountain to block their path. Undeterred, Murugan hurled the mighty veil at the mountain and destroyed it in a single stroke. They soon set upon the Asura army and wreaked havoc in its ranks. For 6 days and 6 nights, the battle raged, with both sides equally matched. The desperate Asuras propitiated goddess Bhadrakali and pleaded with her to intervene. However, when she saw who was leading the divine army, she merely smiled and withdrew. On the 6th day, Murugan entered the battlefield and confronted the powerful Surapadman. Realizing that Murugan was none other than the divine child of Shiva and Parvati, Surapadman resorted to trickery and attempted to extricate himself from sheer defeat. However, Murugan thwarted all his attempts. As the battle was drawing to an end, Surapadman made a last-ditch attempt to trick Murugan, who immediately resumed the divine form of Sganmugam, one with the 6 faces and 12 arms. Out of desperation, Surapadman assumed the form of gigantic monster with 1,000 arms and 1,000 legs. Murugan smiled and hurled his veil at Surapadman, which split the terrible asura into 2. Surapadman then assumed the form of a huge mango tree, which threatened to smother the world. Undeterred, Murugan split the tree into pieces with his mighty lance, whereupon Surapadman assumed the form of a peacock and a rooster. Just a single glance of Murugan was enough to tame these creatures, and they merely submitted to his might. The merciful Murugan then declared that the rooster would henceforth serve as his Vahana, and the peacock would become his emblem and adorn his flag. Surapadman was immortalized for eternity in keeping the Shiva's boon that he would enjoy the perennial life. Murugan's role in religion and spirituality is not just restricted to this episode alone. He signifies the importance of spiritual evolution and guides in conquering our basic instincts to evolve into a higher plane of existence. Once an individual reaches a certain stage of spiritual awareness, the desire to establish a divine relationship with the Supreme Being overtakes everything else and leads on to the path of truth. Though Surapadman and his brothers were born to an illusion and learned father, wrongful guidance led them to stumble into their animal instincts. This symbolizes the need for using our intelligence to shun ego, hatred, and selfishness, and instead strive for liberation from material comforts. The veil or Murugan symbolizes the ultimate power of Shakti, that is Parashakti, which dispels all illusion and helps to view everything in a rational manner. It also exemplifies the importance of pursuing pure spiritual knowledge to attain liberation and oneness with the Supreme. Murugan's divine exploits are celebrated as festivals in all major temples. His victory over Surapadman is observed as the 6-day festival of Skanda Shakti or Kanta Shakti in the Tamil month of Aispasi, that is October or November. The day goddess Parvathi bestowed the divine veil to Murugan is celebrated on the full moon day in the Tamil month of Thai, that is January or February. This occasion is observed in a grand manner in Hindu temples across the world as Thai Pusam. So this completes the beautiful story on Murugan and his veil. And I hope you all have loved the story. So I hope you all have liked this video. If so, please click on the like button and subscribe to my channel. And don't forget to click on the bell icon to get automatic notifications every time I release a new video. Thank you.